Okay, here's just another quick example. I just want to go through a couple of things with you just to make sure we're on the same page here. So this is another quadratic equation in standard form. If I were to tell you what is A, B, and C, you should be saying to me -1, -4, +6. If I were asking you, does this open up or does this open down? You should be saying down. So it should be looking like this. And how do I know that? Because A is negative. Okay. If I were asking you to find the line of symmetry, that should be x equals -b over 2a. So remember, -b means change the sign of b. So this one's a negative, so I'm going to make it positive over 2 times a, which is 4 over -2, which is -2. So my line of symmetry would be x equals -2. That would be my equation. And then if I asked you to find the vertex, that would mean you need to plug in this -2 into your equation to figure out the vertex. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and erase this so you can see that work. And this is kind of what I wanted to point out here. Okay, so I found out my line of symmetry was x equals -2, and I'm trying to find my vertex by plugging in -2. So this is where it's important that you do what I've taught you in the past. You're going to copy what you see, so you write your negative. Then you have an x squared, so you're going to write -2 times -2 minus 4 times -2 plus 6. This piece right here, count your negatives. 1, 2, 3. Since there are 3 negatives, this piece will be a negative. Then just multiply your numbers. So 2 times 2 is 4. Now look at that piece. How many negatives are there? 2. Since there are 2 negatives, I know that piece is going to be a positive. So 4 times 2 makes 8. And then this piece, there's only one term, so I could just say plus 6. Then -4 plus 8 makes 4. Plus 6 makes 10. Which means my vertex is at -2, 10. Okay? So on my graph here, this is -2, 10. Is that a maximum or a minimum? It is a maximum. It means the very top of this graph is y equals 10. So, domain is always going to be all real numbers for this graph, all real numbers for parabolas. Range always depends on what my maximum or minimum is. So if I were asking you what's the range, so let me just go and erase this here. My range would be y is less than or equal to 10. Because the very top is 10 and all the other numbers below it are part of my range. So everything below it makes it y is less than or equal to 10. Okay? Lastly, I can quickly find my y-intercept. Please remember your y-intercept is where x equals 0. If I plug in 0 here, it goes away. I plug in 0 there, it goes away. The only thing left is 6. Your y-intercept is always your c, so my y-intercept is 0, 6. Okay? In order to find your x-intercepts, you are going to have to graph. I'm not going to go through the graphing again for this one, but please remember that you need to graph until you find zeros. So if I do my table, okay, and right here I have -2 and 10, okay, below here or above here, what are the numbers before -2? -3, -4. What are the numbers after -2? -1, 0. In order to find my x-intercepts, I have to find where y is 0. So I have to get a 0 on this side. Well, if I plug in these two and I don't get a 0, and then I plug in these two and I don't get a 0, then I would have to plug in another one. Okay? So normally I say you can just do 2 on each side, but say you still don't find a 0, then plug in another one. So go, what's the next number? 1 this way, -5 this way. If you still don't get a 0, plug in another one. Okay? And later we'll find an easier way to do that.